Chairman, great to have you on the show. You and I are going to agree all day long that our national debt is a problem, the budget is a mess. But, sir, nobody ever wants to do anything about that, and I don't see anything in the political landscape that tells me that's going to change. Do you?
Well, Brian, I think we do know how bad this is. I think, to put it in perspective, though, $6 billion a day in borrowing, half of that is interest on the debt alone, which is now in total exceeding what we spend on national defense. And we could go through the litany of flashing red lights. Look, we have done some things. I want your viewers to know that when Republicans took control of the House, we negotiated the debt ceiling for fiscal reforms and spending caps. That would save over $1 trillion over the 10-year budget window. We have worked hard to keep that discretionary budget flat. We reined in the waste and fraud in two major welfare programs, entitlement programs, Medicaid and SNAP, to the tune of over $1 trillion, which is twice as much as anyone's ever cut from mandatory spending. The other piece of the equation, Brian, is growth. And we're putting pro-growth, pro-work, pro-energy policies in place that are unleashing growth, job creation, and prosperity. We've seen the growth rate go up by a percentage point. You sustain that over 10 years, that's $3 trillion to reducing the deficit. And we haven't talked about dereg. We can talk about leveling the trade playing field, the quadruple revenue that we've received. All in all, the deficit has gone down year over year for the first time in a decade, according to CBO. Now, that doesn't mean we're out of the woods. It just means we're creating some fiscal space. And some of the bigger things like Social Security and Medicare are going to have to be worked on in a bipartisan fashion, like they were with Reagan and Tip O'Neill, quite frankly.
Well, I'll give you credit where credit's due, but we still got a deficit that's above $1 trillion, and we're still paying more than $100 billion a month on interest on the debt. So nibbling around the margins isn't going to make a lot of sense. But I agree with you. Growth is one of those things, especially with AI, that can help you, as they say, grow your way out of your debt, but you need a lot of it. So I want to move on to this, though, because I know you're really hot on this. You've been a strong supporter of the Save America Act, and you're a co-sponsor of the bill. Earlier today, the vice president addressed President Trump's latest gamble to get it passed in the Senate by attaching it to FISA. Listen to this.
Leader Thune said it's unrealistic to get the Save America Act passed by attaching it to FISA, which is what the president's looking for. Do you believe this is possible?
Well, why don't we try? Why don't we try and at least force people to vote against it? One of the things that sometimes frustrates me about the legislative process is that people will go into it saying, this isn't possible, therefore we're not even going to try. Well, let's actually see. Let's try it. And if it's not possible, then let the people put their name on it. This is also good for the American people. Let people go on the record and actually answer to the American people, which is why I think we should do exactly as the president said.
Chairman, you got a lot of colleagues in the Senate on your side of the aisle who just don't want to do Save America Act. What's the problem there? Is it leadership? Is it just we don't have the right Republicans in there? Why don't they at least want to give it a go?
Well, look, to be candid, we in the House have passed the SAVE Act multiple times, and we have a simple majority. We don't have the filibuster, so we don't have this 60 supermajority threshold, and I think that's what's holding it up ultimately. Now, you can debate, should we pull the filibuster for something that is so important? I mean, you can't have functional democracy without free and fair elections. We have a simple majority threshold in the Senate for judicial appointments, so why not for something so critical, again, to the functioning of this democratic republic? And I think that's a healthy debate, but at the end of the day, practically speaking, forget what I want and the philosophical discussions, the math isn't there. You don't have Democrats who will support it, sadly, 80-20 issues like voter ID, but you don't have the number of requisite Republicans to pull a filibuster and have a simple majority, which, by the way, means you might have a choice. I mean, you might have an option through reconciliation, 3.0.
Yeah, but there doesn't seem much appetite for that either. I got to leave it there. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for being with us tonight. And thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow.